Welcome our 2017 good guy, Becky McGrath. Her husband Ed. And her handsome sons, Dylan and Aiden. At this point, I would like to ask Father Augustin Onda to come up and deliver a blessing.
Well, Becky, I heard a saying that says, "Tell me who are your friends and I will let you know who you are." You are a good guy, you have many good guys who are your friends. And the good things come from God. So today we are going to give you a blessing to you and to all your family and friends. The Lord be with you. May Almighty God bless you, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Enjoy the celebration.
Once again, thank you all for attending this evening to honor Becky McGrath. There you go. We'd like to recognize family members of the good guy. Her mother, Mary Ann Bale, is here. Her sisters, Jackie Bale and her husband, are with us. TJ LaFleur, Alicia Hardy. Nieces, which we don't rarely recognize, but we appreciate you being here. Ed gave us his whole list. So happy that you're here. We're just playing, I promise. Nieces Sabrina McCullough, Amelia Hardy, and Madeline Hardy. Oh, I like that. There you go. All right, and for some reason, Ed wanted to recognize his family. Yes. Like they had a whole lot to do with Becky being who Becky is. In all sincerity, thank you for being here and supporting your daughter-in-law. That's a wonderful thing. Ed's father and mother, Ed and Susan McGrath. Brother Corey McGrath and his girlfriend Brianna Bissell. Ed's sister Sarah Ryan. Nephews Donovan Ryan and Shay Ryan. And his niece Addison Ryan. Folks, that's it. We're out of time. We want to thank you for coming to the Good Guy Award ceremony this year. All right, so we are here to celebrate the 2017 Wilmington Good Guy, Becky McGrath. Becky, all right, we're done with that part. Becky truly embodies the spirit of the Good Guy Award. She's been working tirelessly for years to make Wilmington a better community without seeking any recognition for her efforts. In fact, the truth, if you know Becky, you know this to be true, she often prefers to remain out of the spotlight. So good luck with that tonight, Becky. Our speakers that are going to come up to the podium and speak to you tonight, they're going to detail the many contributions that Becky has made to the community. I just want to tell you a little bit about the background of the person you're honoring. And quite frankly, I didn't have a whole lot of people providing me with info, so I made a lot of this up. So, as you know, by the way, I think you all know, I hope you all know, that this is supposed to be a surprise. She's not supposed to know about it until she walks through the door. So I have to ask, by the way, were you surprised? As was custom at the time in Chicopee, Becky was born in a one-room house made of sod. Becky, unaware that there was a dirt floor, spent countless hours sweeping it. During her school years, as some of you may know, you may not know, Becky actually was a standout athlete, particularly in the sport of cow tipping. In fact, she got a scholarship. After graduating high school, Becky packed up her knapsack and attended college in the big city of North Andover. She attended Merrimack College, where she focused, although Ed wasn't sure which was the major and which was the minor, she focused in art and psychology. So naturally, upon graduation, she was unemployed. It's a little too much laughter coming from the family on that one. I might have been a little too close. It was at Merrimack College, actually, that Becky met the man of her dreams, Ed McGrath. Somebody laughed at that part? So it was crazy, wild college days. Did they meet at a fraternity party? No. It was in religion class. God was not necessarily happy since they were supposed to be studying him, capital H. However, they made amends by being married in a beautiful ceremony in the Merrimack College Chapel in 2000. They moved to Wilmington in 2001, and the town has been better ever since. Becky spent much of her career as a graphic designer, which, given her amazing creativity, no one would be surprised. She did recently leave a long-time position under questionable circumstances as the customer relation manager for United Airlines. It's one of the parts I made up. In her spare time, I understand, when she's not volunteering her time or spending it with her two sons, Becky is always involved in house projects, particularly carpentry projects. And as Ed describes it, she's the supervisor, he's the labor. You may be interested to know that Ed's starting to form a union. She is talented in home improvements. She's immensely talented in creative projects of all kinds. But if you put her in front of an oven, she's a lost soul. By the way, I'm not taking the flak for that line. That's a quote from Ed. You can deal with the fallout on that one. One more thing worth noting. I found this really kind of cool. Becky ran in April in WOW's Kim Forte Memorial 5K race with her two sons, which I thought was very cool. And more than 500 people ran in this race. Her son Aiden finished 31st. Dylan finished 114th out of more than 500. And Becky finished this afternoon. So we're actually fortunate to have her here tonight at all. Now, to give you an idea of how much this town truly owes to Becky, we're going to invite Catherine Mayella up to the podium to read just one of the many nomination letters that were submitted on behalf of Becky. So please welcome Catherine Mayella.
So the letter I wrote was, Dear Wilmington Good Guy Committee, it is my honor to nominate Becky McGrath as Wilmington's 2017 Good Guy. Becky is hands down one of the best representations of Wilmington. Becky reflects all of the positive attributes that Wilmington is known for: community, volunteering, and kindness. With each of Becky's actions, she shows who she is. Becky shows her community spirit by helping whenever she is asked. Becky has helped many different community groups. She has assisted the programs of youth soccer, baseball, and basketball. She has used her artistic talents to, quote, spruce up the food pantry. Becky has always volunteered, and when the opportunity came up to be a founding member of a new organization in town, We're One Wilmington, which was then Women of Wilmington, she signed up quickly. Within our organization, Becky is a very integral part of our success. She has recently taken on the role of Vice President of Outreach. In addition to these responsibilities, Becky has spearheaded the Festival of Trees since its inception. Her creativity and dedication to the event has helped the Festival of Trees to become one of Wilmington's holiday traditions. Throughout each of these actions, Becky shows her kindness. She is one of the most genuine people I have ever met. I wasn't going to do this. And I consider myself blessed to be her friend and counterpart on the board of WOW. To quote my sister, Becky's a good bean. She certainly is, and I cannot think of another person to receive this year's Good Guy Award. I did not even mention that she and her husband Ed are raising two of the most amazing boys. They are learning from the best of the best. Thank you for considering my nomination.
It looks like I'm going to have to remind speakers there is no crying. Kind of a rule. I'd like to welcome to the podium right now, representing the group of WOW, We're One Wilmington. Shout out. Dr. Noreen Cordo.
Good guys and guests. So tonight, we gather tonight to celebrate Becky. As many of you know, Becky wears many hats: graphic designer, artist, wife, daughter, soccer mom, basketball mom, baseball mom, and WOW board member. But my personal favorite is that of friend. Recently, Becky knew I was going through a difficult time. Not only did she reach out to me, she loaned me one of her favorite books, titled The Rhythm of Life: Living Every Day with Passion and Purpose. In this book, the author, Matthew Kelly, explains how our lives should be about the pursuit of the best version of ourselves. As I read the book, I thought, oh no, not another thing to pursue, another thing to add to my list of things to do. But as I continued reading, I learned that it's actually not that hard to pursue the best person we can be. We just need to slow down and listen to our inner voice in order to make a difference. When we live each day with passion and purpose, our actions make us healthier, happier, and more caring towards others. These actions can be doing something as small as lending a book to a friend who's having a tough time, or something as big as planning a Festival of Trees fundraiser to assist those in need. I understood why Becky loved this book so much. This rhythm of life is not simply about the selfish pursuit of the best version of ourselves, but also about helping others become the best version of themselves. And this, quite frankly, describes Becky perfectly. You see, Becky is the best version of herself because she consistently contributes to helping others find the best in themselves. Becky inspires and challenges us to be the best version of ourselves. She raises the standard to make us more caring, kind, and generous. She repeatedly uses her God-given talents to make a difference in other people's lives. It has been said that there is no greater gift than volunteering our time and energy. This is not only a gift to the ones we help, but also a gift to ourselves, a gift of fulfillment and happiness. Through this book, Becky has personally helped me to understand that this is what a successful life is. Some say a measurement of one's success is how much money you make or the type of car you drive. But true success, that should be measured by how we are able to fulfill our own lives by helping others. Becky has been very successful in life. She has learned to dedicate herself to those things that truly deserve dedication: her family, her friends, and contributing to the happiness of others through her community service. By giving of herself, she has fostered hope, and hope is the true force of life. So thank you, Becky, for being you and helping all of us to be better versions of ourselves. Congratulations on being Wilmington's Good Guy 2017. You are so deserving of this recognition. This town is so very lucky to have her, and I am honored to recognize your success tonight. And I consider myself truly blessed to call you my friend.
All right, and now it gives me great pleasure to introduce a man that actually, it's funny, we were just reminiscing. I think the first time I met him was in 5th grade, and he is our state representative. He's a man that I truly look up to and admire. Please welcome to the podium State Representative Jim Maselli.
I had one state employee who works for me research her background, and in fact, he went a little bit too far. And so he had to justify his salary. But you know what? You've heard everything, and what a resume. But, you know, Joe Marie told me a while back that organization that she was part of and helped organize, and I can see a good representation of them here tonight, was a real dynamite organization, and they work behind the scenes, and they do an awful lot of good things, and I can see that's you. And so as far as this is concerned, let me just say this.
Your record is clean enough.
I wouldn't, yeah. I was going to say that, let me say this. There are always people who call every day. They call my office, and they need all kinds of help. I had a call today from a young man, gentleman, World War II, and he wants to get to the VA in Lowell, but they won't give him an appointment for an exam. And we're making that call, and we're getting him up there. And you folks do that many, many times, and you must be one of the most active members of that organization. And you know, you work in the shadows, no credit, no one knows what you do, but your numbers are staggering. By that I mean, I think I have an idea of how large an organization this is. So bottom line is this. There are people out there who need an awful lot of help. Every day in this town, the other town that I represent, and a lot of folks just go on about their business, and don't really pay much attention. But this is one organization, and you're a member of this organization, and I saw your resume and what you have done, what you have accomplished, and you're one member, just makes you an outstanding individual. To have so many people get up and say such nice things about you. You know, you're a great friend, you're someone they can rely on, you're always out there helping people. You epitomize what this town is all about. This is a great town. I love living here, and I've been here for a number of years, and it's nice to see someone like you get the recognition you deserve. And I heard of you, knew a little bit about you, but didn't know much, and I can see why. The fact of the matter is that you folks work in the shadows, and I don't mean anything negative by that, obviously. And I thank you on behalf of the state, town of Wilmington, and I'll steal the selectman's thunder too, for what you do for this community. And boy, let me tell you, if I can ever be of any help, please call me. And I've got to present a citation tonight, and it's the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the House of Representatives. Be it hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to Rebecca McGrath in recognition of your hard work, dedication, and the contributions you make to your community through both your professional and volunteering endeavors. Now, is there such a word as volunteering? Yeah, maybe. You are a shining example of what it means to be a civil servant and are very deserving of the Wilmington Good Guy Award. And by the way, just by way of trivia, the person who started that Good Guy Award, first recipient was Rocco. It was a selectman, a fellow named Lloyd Bender, who has since passed, but it was everything you said it was. And I said, gee, are there any names being left out? And he was one of them. The entire membership extends its very best wishes, expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success in all endeavors, and it's signed the 12th day of May, 2017, at the State House, signed by Bob DeLeo, Speaker of the House, and it's offered by James Maselli, State Representative. And if you'd get up, I'd like to present it to you. Is there a photographer in the house? Come on, will you? I saw you move from the poker table a few years ago, and boy, you got up fast. Are we all set?
Dick, take another one.
Christ. This guy's unbelievable. Hey. Thank you. And let me add this, he's been doing this for years. Did he ever get the Good Guy Award?
Who, me?
Him?
Oh, no.
No. Hey, sorry. Put in a word for you. To me, you're one of the most valuable players here tonight. Seriously, it's a pleasure being here tonight, pleasure meeting you, and I heard that round of applause. How many people actually belong to
We're One Wilmington.
Thank you for what you do.
Representing the Soul Sisters Running Club, Jen Kennedy and Ann Fitzler.
Hello, everyone. I am Jen Kennedy. I'm Ann Fitzler. As Steve said, we are here on behalf of the Soul Sisters Running Club. Before I start, I know Becky wanted to do the slideshow for Jen Bolanos, so it was a bit of a bone of contention, I think. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank my husband for actually doing it. A lot of people thanked me for it, but I volunteered and then I realized I don't know how to do this. So thank you, Wade Kennedy. And Becky, we have a musical version. We'll send you the link to that so you can see that too. It's cool. So Becky is not the most recognized or decorated Soul Sister, though after tonight she may be the most recognized. But Soul Sisters is known and recognized because of Becky. You see, in 2014, we decided it was time to transition from what was just a Facebook meetup page to an official Roadrunners Club of America group. In other words, we wanted to become a real running club. Now, legal documents and tedious paperwork aside, what is the most important part about becoming an official club, especially for 200-plus women? That would be what we wear, of course. So we needed a logo. And we couldn't trust this very important task to just anybody. So we enlisted the help of one of our members, none other than Becky McGrath. This awesome logo Becky has created is known and respected and can be seen not only all around Wilmington. Seriously, we love our gear, and like you'll see us around town like jerks walking around with it on. But it's been proudly worn around the world. We've had people run in Brazil, Alaska, Munich, Haiti, Switzerland, and hearing rumors that Becky's fabulous logo is traveling to Budapest this summer. Becky, we are so proud to wear your work and hope we make you proud. And speaking of trying to make you proud, I'm already like so stressed about the Festival of Trees. But have no fear, the Soul Sisters love a great competition, and we are not going to let you down this year. And now I'm going to turn it over to Anne, who has a little something for you on behalf of the club.
Of course, we all like wearing the logo that Becky made us and all our awesome clothing, but we want to present to you with a much coveted windbreaker that you've wanted for a long time. So now everyone who can see her logo that she's made for us, and she can wear it proudly because we're all so proud of you.
Please welcome Becky's sister, Alicia Hardy.
Break the rule. Break the rule. Yeah. Okay. Hi, I'm Becky's sister, as you can probably tell from my childlike voice. It runs in the family. We used to play tricks on Ed back in the day. It's quite funny. So I'm speaking tonight on behalf of my mother, Mary Ann Dale, our older sister, Jackie, and our father, Norm, who I like to imagine is currently bragging about Becky to strangers at the Home Depot in heaven.
No doubt.
Becky is a good guy, a very good guy, a super good guy. She always has been. Perhaps maybe a little too good, I'm thinking. Seriously. Try being her sister. Am I right, Jackie? Straight A's, unbelievable artistic talent, a very humble, most of the time, and an amazing ability to never get caught by our parents. We have every reason to resent her. But that would be impossible, because she is the rock in our family, always there to support whoever is going through the toughest times, with love, encouragement, and free from judgment. It is her gift. If you ask my mother, she can pinpoint the day that she knew Becky had a gift for compassion. Becky was around 9 years old when she saw a homeless man with 2 kids sitting outside the mall. His sign read, "We'll work for money or food." Becky was really upset about this and begged our parents to help. Our dad brought Becky to the grocery store, and they loaded up on food and brought it back to the family. The man was in tears when he saw Becky walking up with the grocery bags, and so was our father. She discovered her gift, and she's been living it ever since. Thank you, Wilmington, for taking this Western Mass girl in, cow tipping and all, and recognizing and celebrating her talents. As an outsider looking in, it's clear that you have a very special community here. Becky, we are so proud of you. Becky Bale's a good old soul. Yes, she is.
All right, so the rule is no crying by speakers, but I think you brought many of us very close. And you really, actually, you touched my heart, because I will never forget the day I was sitting outside a mall in Chicopee, Massachusetts. Representing Wilmington's Special Olympics event, which recently was inaugurated, thanks in great part by a couple of people, one of those being Jen Bolanos.
I am so excited to be here tonight recognizing and honoring Becky McGrath as Wilmington's 2017 Good Guy recipient. I met Becky about 8 years ago, and it didn't take long for me to realize that she is someone very special. I have not come across many others who are as generous with their heart, time, and talent as Becky. She truly puts 110% of her heart and soul into everything she does. A perfect example is the role Becky recently took at Wilmington's first Special Olympics event. Becky jumped at the chance to be on the committee, and everyone involved is truly thankful that she did. Becky made sure every individual athlete had a personalized poster hung up by the track. That day, she went from event to event, taking pictures in order to capture memories for all involved. She did all of this with a smile on her face and out of the goodness of her heart. Becky McGrath is most likely not a household name in Wilmington. However, the things she has touched and improved upon, whether it be a logo, a mural, or the Festival of Trees, certainly are topics of conversation. People do not realize how much Becky has done because she does it quietly and gracefully. The fact that Becky helps out whenever asked without expecting or wanting accolades is why she is so deserving of this award. As a lifelong resident of Wilmington, I would like to thank Becky for choosing this community as her home and for loving it and caring about it as if she has lived here her whole life. We are so lucky to have you, and I am honored to call you a friend. I also have a quick note to read from the Special Olympics Committee. Unfortunately, no one from the Special Olympics Committee could make it tonight, but they sent along something for me to read. Becky, thank you so much for everything you did to make the first annual Special Olympics a complete success. Everything we asked you to do, you took on without hesitation, even when we threw you in front of the camera at WCTV. We had no doubts that you would always come through. You were a driving force in making sure each athlete had a buddy. Your many connections with individuals in the community really helped to spread the word about the event. You arranged the purchase of the prize t-shirts, and the individual posters were a very nice touch. You must have spent countless hours to coordinate the efforts to make sure every athlete had a poster. And the photos that you took on the day of the event really captured the feel of the day. We can't thank you enough for everything that you did to help make the event such a success. We hope to work with you again in the future. Congratulations on such an honorable award. You deserve it. On behalf of the Special Olympics Committee, I would like to present you with these tokens of thanks from the committee and from all of the athletes. Congratulations.
All right, representing WOW, which just for the record is We're One Wilmington these days. Please welcome Joe Mario Mahoney.
Speaking from experience, in the next few hours, days, weeks, you're going to look back on text messages, emails, personal encounters we've had with each other over the last month. And I think at this point, before you think of those things, we should have an agreement. I, Joe Mario Mahoney, do solemnly swear that I will forget how easy it was to lie to you.
I don't know if I will.
Every time you asked a question, I just immediately lied to your face, and you didn't pick up on it ever. If you, Rebecca McGrath, will forget how easy it was to buy my lies, so that our friendship can continue. All right, bygones, right? All right. So I was introduced as the WOW president, but of course I am here wearing many hats. Becky McGrath and I actually met 11 years ago in the parking lot of the Millbrook Country Day School, where my son Patrick and her son Aiden were attending preschool. And I was a new kid in town. I had 2 young children. I didn't really know any of the other moms. I was working full time. My mom would pick up the kids some days, so I didn't really know the other moms that well, but when I came peeling in on 2 wheels, as they said I did, for pickup, there was a group of moms there that always seemed to get along with each other. We're always talking and laughing, and they always welcomed me without any question. This strange girl who just inserted herself into conversations eventually became friends. I got introduced to the Moms Club, and eventually we became what I named the Hot Mess Book Club, which of course Becky designed a logo for. And that's how I met Becky McGrath. Fast forward a few years from there, at my dining room table, with again a close group of friends, and we were talking about how could we become organized. We had been told basically that we were doing all these good things in Wilmington, but we needed to become an organized group by Jen Bolanos' dad. Mike Kyra, who I had a crush on, and it horrifies her when I say that. At least he's not going to find out, because it's not like taped by WCTV and played for the next 10 years, right? Becky was at that table, and she contributed. We named ourselves. We became a group. And we thought we were just going to be a small group of friends who, with our kids, did community service throughout the town. Fast forward to 2017, where we have 400 members, where thankfully we've had new members join our board because we've desperately needed new members to join our board. But Becky's still one of the founding members of our board. And to me, personally, that's a sign of her friendship. Because Becky taught me, I'm not going to quote the same book that Noreen quoted, but I have read it as well, because it was recommended by Becky to read. And it was empowering and wonderful. The best part of being friends with Becky is that she allows me to be me. And she appreciates the fact that I'm not in one lane. So when I talk to her one day as one person with one group of feelings, she accepts that. And the next day that person might be a little different, right? Because that's how we all are. I'm not a schizophrenic. But what I love about Becky is she's never once challenged my feelings. Every time I've come to her, whether it's with feelings of sorrow or happiness or just kind of content, indifference, she accepts what I'm saying to her, and she loves me for it. And she shares in my feelings. And that is such a special gift to have, and I didn't realize that for the longest time. But quoting that book, not necessarily quoting Noreen's book that she's already talked about, what I've come to realize in my old age, to put this in your book review, is I really enjoy being around people who talk about the future a lot. You know, there are kind of 2 types of people that you encounter in life. There are those that kind of talk about the past a lot. They talk about the great times that you once had in college or high school, or whatever the case may be, or the great vacation you had a few years ago. And that's kind of where the focus of your conversation is. And then there are people like Becky that over dinner or over drinks or just sitting on your couch will talk about these ideas that they have. And wouldn't it be great if WOW did this? And wouldn't it be great if we could do this? And there's always this forward focus that's just so motivating and empowering to have. And it's so appreciated. And I don't think she realizes that she's just naturally that type of person that we're all the better for. She motivates us to be the best version of ourselves, even when she's not trying to, and even when she hasn't read a book about it. But here's the deal. We've had a lot of tears, and everyone says how nice she is. So it's time to roast her. And I was just gonna swear, and I realized it's on TV, and I don't know if they have a dub, right? So there are two things. When I had to think, and I've had 6 weeks to think about this, what can I say that's bad or negative that, you know, we need to show the underbelly of Becky McGrath just a little bit, right? Right? So here's the first thing. She is ridiculously competitive. Ridiculously competitive, right? You think that's a good thing until all of a sudden you're being challenged to be Wonder Woman and running in a road race, or you have to dress up as a Christmas tree at the Festival of Trees because she has decided that's what you get for losing whatever challenge you've made with her, right? And you see that, like, the beauty of Becky and her family that are here tonight is that you see it represented in them as well. You see it in Dylan when you challenge him to Just Dance on the Wii. He thinks he wins every time, but I do think I beat him in 2013. And you see it in Aiden every time he takes the field. You see this fierce competitor and this fierce athlete, and you know that he gets it from his parents, and you can see Becky in that. And if you looked at the slideshow earlier, you saw there was a picture of Becky and Ed, and what you didn't see, it was at the road race. And what you didn't see in that picture but needs to be said, note that, look up the 2014 road race results, is that Becky and Ed were competing over who ran that race in the fastest time, and I think it was within seconds of each other. And you see in that picture that she was basically throwing an elbow at him. I think Ed won. He wants me to say he won, so I'll say it, but I think it was a tie. It was like within seconds of each other. So the second thing I will say about Becky, you've heard how artistic she is. You've heard how talented she is. And what you need to understand is that it's really obnoxious to those of us who are creatively challenged. And if you don't believe me, just ask Diana Luongo about the plastic horses, about the Kentucky Derby tree of 2016 at the Festival of Trees. Which, by the way, those horses made your tree tonight. You're welcome. Because Becky makes everything beautiful. She makes everything spectacular. Her fingerprints are on everything that is beautiful about our community and about We're One Wilmington. But it's intimidating for those of us who can't think of anything beautiful to do sometimes. So that being said, in the spirit of Rocco, we actually had Becky make her own gift. Because who can make it better for Becky than Becky? So she gave me this gift yesterday, and I was actually hoping for 2 weeks that she was going to give it to me early because my fear was she was going to put Jen's name on it, and I wasn't going to know how to fix that. I picked it up last night. She apologized because she didn't have the exact correct color of nail putty to put over the nail holes. Now she's getting it back so she can fix it if she wants to. And she said to me, as I was walking towards the door, because I was terrified that I was going to say something wrong and we were so close to tricking her, I said, well, I'm going to put it in a trash bag because it might rain. And I'm keeping it in my car, and I'm really worried that it's going to get wrecked. And Becky looked at me and she said, you can put it in a trash bag, but if Jen sees it in a trash bag, I'm telling her it was all you because she knows that I would never put it in a trash bag. So in our typical compromise, I put it in a trash bag, but I wrapped it. So this is Becky's gift to Becky. I'll let Ed tell you about the making of it. You want to open it up and show everyone your hard work? Yes? She spent hours on the watercolor because she hasn't done it since college. High school, sorry, of course. Rumor has it there was a first draft that I'm sure Jen Bolanos will be more than happy with. So that being said, speaking on behalf of all of us, I know the WOW members and everyone here in this room, I just want to tell Becky how much we love her and appreciate her, and are so happy that she won this tonight. So that being said, I speak for all of us when I say it is such a thriller to honor you tonight.
I think I speak for most of the people in this room when I say, how long was that song? Drummer, you couldn't pick the Inagata Davida? That would have been short enough for you? Is this gentleman, a lot of you probably don't know, actually used to appear on Soul Train quite a bit. Chairman of Wilmington's Board of Selectmen, Mike Shampoo.
Becky, congratulations. Ed, and what do we have? Aiden, and Dylan and Aiden. Congratulations to all of you, and to the family. I'm happy to be here to present Becky with an award on behalf of my colleagues on the Board of Selectmen. Some of the Board of Selectmen couldn't be here tonight. Ed Loud, I just want all of you to sort of join in with me here. He's our newest member. He was just elected. By the way, apologies to our Chicopee friends. This is all Wilmington politics, so you're not going to get any of these jokes. Just go with it. They're not funny anyway. So anyway, Ed is our newest guy, and so I sent Ed to the Shriners. He's up there for this event. He's probably looking around for us, but we'll let him off the hook later. It's kind of a new guy initiation thing. Mr. Kyra was going to be here tonight until he got kind of peed off after he realized his niece wasn't the winner. So he said, to hell with it, I'm not going to that thing. He said, Becky who? Mr. McCoy was going to come, but frankly, he said he'd read about it in next Thursday's town crier. See? All right, I lied. One of them was funny. Mr. Bendel is here, one of our new members. Mr. Greg Bendel, yep. Greg is a colleague of mine, and he and his wife Andrea had a baby just, 5 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago? 3 months ago. Every day's a gift, man. Greg is here, frankly, just because I think he needed a night out. As many of you know who have been through this before, and certainly the good guys that are here know that, as is tradition with the Good Guy Award and the Board of Selectmen, we give the recipient an engraved, beautiful silver Revere bowl, and it's engraved with the recipient's name, and it's tradition every year. But we are, as many of you probably also know, tomorrow we're going to be christening and cutting the ribbon for our brand new Yentile Park. Please come down, 10 o'clock, right? So we're looking forward to seeing a great turnout at that event. That park cost us just strong of $5 million. So it's a beautiful park, but damn, it was expensive. So we had to make a few budget cuts, so we didn't have room in the budget this year for the bowl. And I feel bad about that, Becky, but I know the giving person that you are, you can make that accommodation. But we didn't want you to go empty-handed, so we have a few things for you. Forgive me here as I stumble through this. So one of our gifts that we're going to present you with is a calendar. Okay, and it has all kinds of nice pictures of famous Wilmington locations, including, of course, the famous Wilmington lion from the Great Wilmington Zoo. It's a beautiful picture, so that's for you to keep. What else do we have here? We have Mass Municipal Association wanted to extend to you their congratulations, and they gave you this awesome toolkit that has all kinds of things in it, so there you go, have fun with that. Let's see, we got some other cool stuff. Oh, from our good friends at WCTV. They said, Becky McGrath, absolutely, come in and get her a mug. So there you go, there's a mug for you. Again, my friends at MMA and Maya, our insurance company for the town, they gave us a nice bag to give to Becky, so for you. All right, I'm just kind of kidding. She gets all that stuff too, but she gets a bowl. We do, in fact, have a bowl for Becky, and as I prepare to present it, I do so with sincerity in my gratitude and our gratitude, the town's gratitude to you and to your whole family for the example that you set for all of the rest of us residents in town as to what it is to be someone from Wilmington, to volunteer and to give back and not to take things for granted. And so the work that you do certainly benefits the people around you, but it benefits it in so many ways above and beyond just the things that you're doing. It benefits the town of Wilmington in the example that you set and in the motivation, I think someone else said, the motivation that you give to the rest of us to raise our game. So we are very, very grateful to you, and I'm so very, very glad it's you. And when my wife Doreen found out it was you, she was like, yes, she's perfect. So that's from her. So this is to you, and I can't really read it, but I trust me, it says your name on it. So yeah, let's get a photo here. Congratulations, Beck. I'm very happy for you. So one last thing, and it's really not about you. is, I'm looking at my agenda, and it looks like Senator Bruce Tarr is your next speaker. So now would be a good time to hit the bathroom and maybe refresh your drinks, because he goes a little long sometimes. I'm sorry, I had to go for someone. Thank you all. Thank you, Becky.
All right, without further ado, the thunder was stolen from me. I guess I don't have to introduce our next speaker at all. Please welcome the one and only State Senator Bruce Tarr.
Well, thanks so much, Steve. That was an interesting introduction from Mike Shampoo. I would encourage you all to go to the bar and have a few drinks, and you might be able to make sense of his presentation. So, I think he was helping himself with that one. Great to be here with all of you tonight. Great to be here as we just witnessed the most exotic thing that has ever happened in the KFC since it was built, with that dance that was going on. And I have no doubt that Becky probably planned that whole dance, because it was a little bit like a WOW, whatever it is now. I mean, the wrestlers of Wilmington. I mean, I don't know what the next thing is going to be. But you can see how, these two get up in the front, say, okay, everybody get up, we got to do so. Oh, okay, right? And then the next thing is, go get money. Oh, give us your money. And then the next thing is, if you say no, right? You can see that whole dance was made for the whatever of Wilmington. It was wonderful. And so we all got to see it, but they do it every week. And, isn't it wonderful? The wonderful cathartic speech from Jo Marie. Oh, I'm sorry I lied to you. Like she doesn't do it every week. Oh, this won't cost anything. This won't be tough to do. There'll be plenty of help. And don't worry, I won't really need you to do anything. That never happens, does it, Becky? And isn't it interesting? Like, we've got these two forces of the universe. I was a little afraid coming here tonight, thinking with Becky on one side of the room and Jo Marie on the other, the universe was going to implode right in front of all of us with all that force. And then I walked through the door, and there's Tom Pizzara going around with the camera in everybody's face like this. And I'm thinking, that's got to be like some sort of evidence tape to prove who the witnesses were here tonight. I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. And then the highlight of it all, Becky. Oh, I had a crush on Mike Kyra. So, I'm in the top 5. I'm guessing that anyone who is in a position of power who can give you money is in the top 5. And that's probably how Kyra got there. But of course, don't we all realize that this is going to be on WCTV for the next 3 years from 2 to 3 a.m. So when you see Mike walking down the street and he looks like an insomniac, it's because he's been up every night watching it to figure out what it really meant. So just, offer him some thoughts and some help. It's amazing, Becky, isn't it? How do you do it? I'm so glad. Oh, we're up to 400 members and we're going to get more on the board of directors. That's great, because you need new people to think up names for the organization. And maybe the next 400 will come up with a few more, or maybe you could do a lottery. I know how you operate, Becky. You'll come up with some idea. Maybe there'll be a raffle. Name WOW for a year. Here's, $5 a chance. We'll pick the winner out of a hat. And speaking of hats, we owe you a big thanks, because you just helped Mike Shampoo clean out every free thing that's been collecting in his car for the last year. And it was clear that he has not cleaned out his car since the MIAA conference that happens in January. Oh, isn't this wonderful? Here's a calendar. Okay. And I'm sure that you will take that calendar, and every day you will mark off some other task for you and Jo Marie that has to be done. And, after hearing all this, you've got several selectmen here tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if on Monday morning you have a list of municipal projects for you to do. Pave Route 38. I mean, the rumor is that you're designing a Superdome to go over Yentile Farm, and you're going to announce it tomorrow. I don't know. But I know you can do it. Isn't it amazing? You get, all these people, you get all these various things. You get a painting, you get a bowl, you get a cup, and you get a Christmas tree. Because probably it was on sale at Walmart because it's out of season, and they went out and bought it last night. Oh, don't tell me that's not true. Mike Kyra will talk after this. So isn't it, I know you're watching, right? Because we all watch WCTV. Maybe not all during prime time, but we all watch. It's like the town crier on video, right? It's great. So anyway, it's great to be here. What's on the Christmas tree? I mean, I've been to the Festival of Trees many times. It's a wonderful thing, isn't it? We all get, yes, go ahead. You know, it's amazing, as a state official, I see how WOW, and whatever of Wilmington, right? You get around happy hour. Oh, come to the Festival of Trees. In the first 2 hours, you can drink all you want. No one's going to charge you, and no one's going to care. It used to be you had to serve peanuts and pretzels. In Wilmington, you just have to show off trees. So you got this great tree over here, and it's really kind of cool. And I will tell you, I've always been amazed at all the trees that usually have with scratch tickets on them, right? And it's always great to see all the selectmen trying to win the tree to get the scratch tickets to balance the town budget. It's always great. But it's always, yeah, somebody like that out there. So it's great. But, you know, Tom, are you still over there? Are we getting a long distance shot right now? It's okay, Tom. Whatever you said was unintelligible, but I'm sure it was meaningful. Okay. Are we all doing okay? I think if we're done by 10, the town meeting starts on WCTV, so we should probably try to get done. But it really is, in all seriousness, it is wonderful to be here. It's wonderful, Becky, to be here with you and Ed and Dylan, Aiden, just to say thanks. To say thanks for being the kind of people that inspire us all to do something in our lives to help the community that we live in. And thanks for being the kind of people that give us an understanding that no matter how busy our day is, how many responsibilities we have, how stressed out we might be. Hi, Tom, you got another angle. I can't imagine what this is going to look like on TV. Here's his nostrils. Okay, but anyway, but you help us to just remember that we can all do something to help each other out. And sometimes the hardest part of that, for a lot of people who are busy, and it's a busy world, and we all have busy responsibilities and different things, is just to have somebody that can give us the idea and create that spark. Because I have a theory. And my theory is most people in a community have it in their heart to do the right thing. What makes the difference is whether or not somebody ignites that part of their heart and gets them to stand up and actually do it. And the testament to a great community is when you have somebody like Becky who stands up and does that, and you see the outpouring of support and the incredible things that can happen as a result of it. And so every time that happens, it's a reinforcement of what a great community Wilmington is. So there's lots of tangible things, Becky, that we can point to, right? The road race and the tree and all the other things you've concocted with Jo Marie. But you know what? The most important of them all is something that's not tangible. It's a can-do spirit. And it's reminding us all that if we love the place we live, we should do something to make it better and stronger. And it's the everlasting belief that tomorrow always brings another opportunity to do something great. If it's small or if it's large, it doesn't matter. So you have truly given us that spirit and that understanding. And that's why it's a real honor to be able to come and to say thank you. Tom is getting another angle. Look right there. See, okay, there you go. I just want to make sure this is going to be, I don't know what it's going to be. Anyway, so I want you to, Jo Marie, you know, there's somebody over here with a bald mask on. Number 5? That's not number 5, is it? Okay, just, I don't know. Well, we'll find out later. But it's a real pleasure, first of all, to be here with you and to thank the Good Guy Committee for keeping this tradition alive as we remember all the great people that have sat at this table, starting with Rocco, and populate a great town. And it's great that we recognize them, because if we didn't, it would be a shame and we'd all be remiss. But Becky, it's really a pleasure to give you this citation from myself and my colleagues in the Senate. And I tried to write it exactly as you sent it to me. The Senate clerk actually said, I can't read some of this writing, so I gave him your phone number. Because everybody in town called me to tell me something about you. I've never had that happen. And I said, this is really amazing. What are you holding over the heads of all these people? Oh, I'm going to tell you how great Becky is, just in case you didn't know. Oh, to tell you how great Becky is. It was like unbelievable. Hi, Tom. Keep right over there. Okay. So, it's great to give a citation from myself and my colleagues to someone who in such a tumultuous time reminds us all that all we have to do to make a difference is get up in the morning and think about how to help somebody else out. So this is from the State Senate. It's an official citation, and it reads, "Be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Rebecca Becky McGrath in recognition of your demonstrated selfless dedication and commitment to making the town of Wilmington a better place to live, worthy of the 2017 Wilmington Good Guy Award. And be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends its best wishes for continued success, that this citation be duly signed by the President of the Senate and attested to and a copy thereof transmitted by the Clerk of the Senate. And this is signed by our Senate President, Stan Rosenberg. It's attested to by William F. Welch, our clerk, and I'm proud to offer it on May 12, 2017, to a remarkable individual who gives us all the spirit that we should have and a really good guy. Congratulations, Becky. Oh, wait a minute. Tom, do you want to approach the podium with that camera? And one last thing. I would challenge you all in the next road race to do the Thriller dance for the duration of the race. Thank you all very much.
Moving right along, representing Youth Soccer, please welcome to the podium Tom Card.
So I'm representing Wilmington Youth Soccer, but I'm also been Becky's neighbor for 15 years. So, and just like most people in the town of Wilmington, if you're lucky enough to have neighbors who are also very close friends, you know a little bit more about them than you probably should or want. So when Dave, about a month ago, asked me to talk, obviously since I like to, have that quirky sense of humor, I thought instantly of this is going to be a fun roast of some good people. A lot of ideas came to mind, particularly of me making their kids cry playing soccer, them sending my kids home crying, my tractor blowing up while Ed was sitting on it, Corey getting my 100-pound dog drunk. So just fun barbecues over at the McGrath's house. So just different shenanigans like that. But the more I thought about it, to be honest with you, a lot of it really came from just kind of two big experiences I had with the McGraths. How lucky I am to have them as friends, and basically it's a unique experience. A lot of people talk about how you do a lot and you're doing in the shadows, and my experience I think is a little bit different. When we moved in, we were on a similar track. I don't think Aiden was quite born yet, and I didn't have any kids. And it was very interesting. When you don't have kids, you don't get that involved in the community, and then all of a sudden you start to have kids and you start to meet people. And I found the fastest way to get credibility with people as I met, as I started to get involved in soccer and some of the other organizations, was to simply say, I know the McGraths. And the conversation usually goes somewhere like, hey, Tom, it's nice to meet you. What side of town do you live on? I was like, I live next to Becky. Oh, what? I love them. And then what a great family. And it worked out great for me. I didn't have to do anything nice to anybody. I literally had to just exist next to Ed and Becky, and I was welcomed by the Wilmington people with open arms. So that was, it actually worked out great. It was very efficient. So the second experience working alongside is through my family and my career. I've had a lot of fortunate times of working with a lot of organizations. Some of them are for-profit, some of them are not-for-profit, and some have professional boards, and some are volunteer organizations like a lot of town. And when you do that, you meet a lot of people with great intentions, and they're all good, and you meet the whole spectrum of character, and there's not a whole lot of bad motives for when you want to help your town and community. Whatever gets you out, so, sometimes it's social, sometimes it's wanting to just be with your kid, sometimes you just want to give back. But very rare do you actually find people who legitimately just want to add value to the people around you. And the people who want, even if you're a stranger, you have no strings attached, no ulterior motives, you just want to add value to anybody who walks through the door and just legitimately just wants to give. And I thought about, that was kind of one of the experiences that I was thinking about Becky, and probably in the hundreds of people I've met, through maybe even more than that, there's probably count them on one hand that are like Becky, where you legitimately just want to add value, and that's just who she is. And I've seen Ed and Becky go, through the high highs and the low lows of the last 15 years, going back to, there's no secrets with neighbors, especially when you don't have internal air and all the windows are open in the summertime. But consistently through everything, she has that strength of character where it is literally adding value to anybody who needs help. So she's involved in some organizations where I even didn't know about tonight, but it doesn't surprise me, some of the stories that people are talking about, Special Olympics or whatever, all the way through. So the basic thing is, I know this was supposed to be kind of a roast, but the more I thought about it, that's not really our relationship that I have with Becky. And one of the big things that I kept coming back to is, just the little things. Like a couple years ago, my daughter was 5 at the time, and we were walking through the woods. We were on vacation, walking through the mountains, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, little Meredith goes, I wish Miss Becky were here. And I was like, okay. Why? She goes, well, she always gives me popsicles, and I could really go for a popsicle. So my experience with Becky is I wanted it to be a roast because it's funner, but a lot of it is just thinking about the lemonade stand you guys run, just a good example, what a great family you guys have, and just a lot of the ways you guys give back. And so as a friend and as a neighbor, I just really want to say thank you. I joke around about, you guys clearly are the best neighbors, clearly the most suited for me with my quirky sense of humor, but on behalf of everybody here, I want to say thank you for everything that you do for all of us. So, thank you.
All right. Coming to the podium now, please welcome Wilmington's esteemed town manager, Jeff Hull.
What a task I have now as I've been listening to the comments. So we start with a great rendition of the Thriller, and then we go from there to one of the most lucid speeches that I've ever heard Mike Shampoo give, followed by our esteemed next host of The Tonight Show, which really got everybody revved up, and fortunately Tom dialed it back a little bit. But one of the things that Tom did mention that I was not aware of was this lemonade stand, and I want to talk to you after about the meals tax that we do need to collect on the proceeds. But in light of that, revved up version of the Thriller, I thought I'd sing a song of my own of equal length or longer. It's called American Pie. No, actually, I won't venture down that road. But I do want to let you know that, as you heard earlier, Becky is very passionate about reading, has given many different folks books. And one of the books that she's given me that I'm going to be giving to the Board of Selectmen is called The Rhythm of Meetings, 10 Ways to Top the Nielsen's Ratings. She's a very big fan of the Board of Selectmen, and she's noticed a certain level of rambunctiousness, shall we say, that has occurred at our meetings. So we will be dispatching that at the next meeting. When I first was informed that Becky had been the selected 2017 recipient of the Good Guy Award, all I could say was, wow. I mean, wow. Wonder, woman of wonder, or in short, Wonder Woman. It's often said about so many people that they can't see the forest for the trees, but Becky sees the forest and is a big part of lighting the trees during the holiday season. She has clearly painted herself into the hearts of so many people here in Wilmington, and her imprint on Wilmington is indelible. But the mural to the story is that she does more before 8 o'clock in the morning than most of us do between the time we get up and the close of business. And the sole reason for this hyper energy level, she's a sister of running. I met Becky through the Community Resources Roundtable meetings, which are run by Tina Stewart at the library. I was immediately struck by this aura of positivity. She just exudes an attitude of gratitude and a love of life. The litany of good things that she has performed for Wilmington families is simply astounding. Others have cited the specific accomplishments, and so I won't repeat. But these contributions are just unbelievable. She clearly subscribes to the principles of doing a good deed daily and paying it forward. In this, on top of a career, being a mom, being a wife, and being a friend, she doesn't just go the extra mile, she goes the extra 26.2 miles. Wilmington is truly blessed to have Becky McGrath because she is another one of those special people that contributes to Wilmington's reputation as a place where people look out for each other, where people connect with each other, where people take pride in making positive contributions and giving back in so many ways. And beyond that positive energy and that spirit of giving back is the great example that she is setting for her two sons and really for all of us. We are called upon to use our time, talents, and treasures to make this community, this country, and this world a better place, and Becky is certainly leading the way. So all I can say is, wow, Wilmington's outstanding woman. To cite an old running adage, which applies to much more than running, the race is not always to the swift, but to those who keep on running. So keep on running, Becky, and setting the example of caring, kindness, and compassion. Congratulations to you and your family and on this well-deserved award, and thank you for everything you've done and will continue to do for the town of Wilmington. Congratulations.
By the way, just for the record, you should know Jeff Hull is Joe Marie's new crush. Sorry. All right, coming to the podium now, I'd like to welcome past recipient of the Good Guy Award, Bob DePalma, who's going to make an offering to Becky on behalf of the Good Guy Committee.
All the things that were mentioned today that Becky does, and that really is all behind the scenes. One time I had mentioned to her and Pam that I was wanted to paint the inside of all the rooms in my house, and probably everything was going to be beige. And they came over and colorized the whole house, increasing the value and raising my taxes, probably. Thank you. Pam, thank you. Becky, every year we take surplus money that has been collected from the tickets and we try to find a charity to donate it to in your name. sometimes we get one that you like and sometimes we don't. I think we got one this year that you will like. And here is the donation to Autism Speaks. Okay.
Thank you, Bob. Can I see that for a second? I mean, every year, the Good Guy Committee, you know, we try and get some kind of profit, and we don't usually get a lot. This year, actually, wow, this was for $1. So don't spend it all in one place. By the way, Joe Marie, Bob De Palma, scale 1 to 10, what do you say? I love it. Way to go, Bob, way to go. All right. I just want to let you know, by the way, at this point, we are about halfway through the program. So, actually, we're very close. As a matter of fact, what we're going to do is welcome to the podium someone who knows Becky actually pretty well. Please welcome Ed McGrath.
I am last. So if you need to stand up, go to the bathroom, get a drink, I will not be offended. I've been sitting for a long time. Growing up playing baseball, I was always batted ninth, so going last is kind of what I'm used to. So first, round of applause. You guys kept a secret for this long. Everyone in this room, well done. Well done. Really good. It is not every day that you get to, be an adult and get surprised like this, so I'm sure Becky was thrilled with that. It is also not every day that you get to be a husband for this crowd in a microphone to congratulate your wife. They let me speak tonight. Can you believe this? I was told this is a roast. We're probably batting about, 100 on the roast factor. This is pretty special. After the Thriller thing, I was going to challenge you to a lip sync battle. Billie Jean. Billie Jean is not my love. She loves my mock singing, so I had to throw that in there. So, congratulations. We live on West Street, me, Aiden, and Dylan, 3 guys with our little lady, Becky. And leave it to Becky to be the Good Guy Award winner. So, we're the same age, so I don't know if I'll be able to ever get one, but you guys are young, Dylan and Aiden, so. They're gonna start giving back to the community, free lawns being mowed all weekend, Aiden and Dylan, all right? Start scratching, boys. So, you got a lot of gifts. I'm hoping does this come with like a trophy or like a throne that we need to move into the house too? You sit at the head of the table now, big throne. Man, oh man. So as you can imagine, living with Becky, all the wonderful things she said is so true. She's genuine, she's a wonderful person. She is super creative, she is very intelligent. Her creative skill set is beyond, the norm, to say the least. From our vantage point, Aiden, Dylan, and myself, as you look at her making these logos, making these T-shirts, she'll ask for our opinion. So she'll create, three soccer logos for the club team. She'll create three logos for the Soul Sisters, and she'll show it to us. So what do you think? And look at all 3, they're all amazing. Am I supposed to critique this? I could never do this. How do you make this? So, she's pretty special in that regard. Then you start looking at things like, so Special Olympics. 3-4 weeks ago? She was part of a committee leading up to the Special Olympics, and she was given the task of creating signs. So signs that said, groupings A, B, C, D, E, signs that spoke to the schools, the North, the West, the middle school, Burlington, etc. If you were to give me the task of creating signs, go to Staples, half hour, done. Done. Hour tops, it is done. Becky, we're talking how many hours? 10? 10. So she has the signs done. You know, every night I come home from work, she's got letters spread out, she's got poster boards spread out. Signs are done, are supposed to be done. She says, Ed, what do you think of these signs here? I'm a little concerned because the finishing nail I put in pokes out just a little bit, and I don't want the athletes to get hurt by this. And I'm like, I don't think they're going to get hurt. You know, they're facing out. I don't see any injuries happening from this. I go do whatever. I come back, and they look different. I'm like, what happened here? She's like, well, I ended up going to Staples and getting white tape and taping all the sides and taping the front so that, you know, no one will get injured or whatever. But I have one sign left, and I don't have any more white tape. So I'm like, I don't know, do we have any duct tape? You could just, like, use some white out or something? I mean, you're asking me this? Back to Staples, gets another thing of white duct tape, comes back. These signs are ready for the Summer Olympics in Tokyo in 2020. I'm telling you. Unbelievable. Signs. Carolyn, right? You were there, Ann? I mean, unbelievable, right? Signs. Really good. If you look at, so Festival of Trees. Everyone here has been to the Festival of Trees. Imagine our life in the McGrath house leading up to the Festival of Trees. We have a tree in our house right now. It's May. We have a tree in our house. And we're getting another one. So Festival of Trees. Every day I come home, inevitably there is a donated tree on the back porch. I go to open the door to our back door. I can't even get in because the trees from the prior day are now in our mudroom, so I can barely get in. I get in. There's crafts everywhere. I look into our dining room. It's like the inventory closet of the Christmas tree shop. Kid you not. And then as I turn to go into the kitchen, you just start hearing the music coming from our new living room, right? So it's Jingle Bells, or Deck the Halls. Every night it's a different song, and it is she's like Buddy the Elf getting ready at Gimbals for Santa to arrive in there. Santa's village galore. You go in one night, it's like an angel tree. Everyone's seen the angel tree, right? It's a white tree, and then the next day you get the head done. You get these wings coming out of it. And I'm like, she's like, what do you think of my tree? I'm like, it's amazing. Like, next night you come home. There's everyone's probably seen the village she made of like the library and the post office, and she's downstairs cutting things up, and then you come home and they're laid across the sofa. She's like, what do you think of these? I'm like, where'd you buy them? She's like, I didn't. I made them. I'm like, you made those? Unbelievable, unbelievable. Of course, as I'm turning the kitchen going into the living room, I can't help notice that there's no food on the stove, though. So it's like, Steve, you're right on, right? I know she's not the best cook. This is not a Master Chef award. I get that. But as I turn, and then I'm like, well, maybe under the angel tree there's like La Rosa's takeout, or the Red Heat Tavern might have arrived. Nope. So all right, looks like I'm on cooking duty tonight. But no, all jokes aside, she's a wonderful person. It's tough to sit up here and say all the wonderful things. Everyone's done a nice job. I am lucky I get to live with you every day. She's super special. That's why I married her. Hopefully I can add to the mix there. We got two wonderful boys, which is great. I do want to make sure I do thank some people. I mean, her family came out from Western Mass. Obviously, they wouldn't miss it for the world. They are a rock, without a doubt. You add my family to the mix, we have some good DNA. So thank the families. You guys are certainly some special people. We got lifelong friends here, guys from college. Jesse's here as well. I appreciate you guys coming to support us tonight. In 2001, we did come into the community of Wilmington. I don't think in 2000, when we were living in Melrose, we would have ever thought we would come to Wilmington. It was the best decision we've ever made. We are so fortunate. All the people in this room and even beyond, we've developed so many great friendships. You guys motivate us to be better people. Hopefully we add to the mix as well. Certainly Becky is being recognized for it tonight, but we have established some great friendships, and it's great to surround yourself with good people that can, again, motivate you to be good people as well. So thank you for that. I know the Good Guy Committee did a lot to prepare for this. I'll tell Becky all the good stories, but again, part of my speech, I did want to make sure that I acknowledge the hard work that the Good Guy Committee put in the subcommittee. I don't know what you want to call it, but the Jens, Pam, Noreen, Karen, Ann, Diana, Catherine. I'm going to miss the Pinterest emails, the YouTubes, and all the little goings-on. You guys did a great job. Karen asking me, do I have any ornaments I can contribute to the tree? I'm like, Do I need to whittle something up here? Becky usually takes care of that. But again, I know you guys put a lot of work in. Chris Forcina, choreographer. Thriller, well done, well done. And then certainly last, Beck, I love you. You're a wonderful person, great inspiration to our boys and our family, and congratulations.
I'd like to welcome to the podium the 2016 good guy, Scott Garant.
What a terrific evening. And I've had the opportunity over the years to come to a few of these for friends and people in town who mean a lot to me. And it always strikes me how special it is to have the family come in from out of town, see what Wilmington's all about, and see how much we appreciate the recipient, and this year you. So thank you so much. I'm the reality check guy, though. So here come the glasses. So everything you see out here before you, this is on you next year. It comes with a Terry, but I'm going to help you through it. For the next 10 months, the people who couldn't be here tonight, who run into you at the Common, at Market Basket, come up and say, congratulations, it's wonderful, so well deserved, and it is. But then next February or March, you're going to get an email from Joan Searfoss. Said, hey, guess what? You're in charge of organizing everything next year. Selling the tickets, putting everything together, talking to the family, coming up with the program, working with Steve. So here's what you do. As soon as you see that email come in, you start limping. Find a really good orthopedic surgeon, get your hip replaced, and all your friends, the friends of next year's recipient, will take care of it for you, and you're off the hook. Just make sure you bring this so you sell it. Okay? That's my way of saying thank you to all of your friends, your family, who picked up the ball that I was supposed to run with this year, literally and figuratively, and couldn't do so. Thank you. So Becky, on a night when a chorus of well-deserved thank yous have been extended to you, it is my distinct pleasure, not only on behalf of the Good Guy Committee, but also the community of Wilmington, to present the 2017 Wilmington Good Guy Award to you.
Like fine crystal, but it's plastic. Ladies and gentlemen, guess what? Now we get to hear from Becky.
This is not my favorite thing to do. I get so nervous, but I'm going to pull it together because I know you probably, you all deserve it. Just let me, I've got to collect my thoughts. This is very overwhelming, and I'm so grateful. It's hard to fathom that people took the time to even write these letters. Like, you try to picture something like that, and that alone is incredible to me. Like, there's so many people that I know, that I'm friends with, that I'm acquainted with, that are so worthy of standing up here. And I'm sure we've all heard that before, but it's so absolutely true in this town that we live in. We have an amazing, as my family, they like to joke with me because I love Wilmington so much, and I'm very shameless about it. But it's true, and they see it too. They, even from Chicopee, they see what a special place this is. I want to, God, there's a lot of things I want to say, but I know it's been going on long. I'm going to start.
This is your night. Do whatever.
I'm going to start by thanking Steve and Scott. Thank you guys.
See that in?
I'm going to, Steve reminded me, he reminded me this was going to happen, and it's true. Thank you for being up here and doing this year after year and making it so fun and enjoyable. And Scott, too. Congratulations to you.
guys. This is my first opportunity to say that to you, and for being here for me to make the night special for me as well. And quite honestly, to all the good guys here, it's because of the stuff and the work that you have done over the years that create the foundation for this wonderful community that we have. It's cool to be kind in Wilmington. It is. And it's because of all of you guys. You know, we need people to be kind and to do those amazing things, and it makes it, like many of people have said tonight, it inspires the rest of us to do it too. And it makes it's encouraged, and it's, I don't know, I was shy for a good part of my life, and I still am. And but I don't feel that way in Wilmington. I feel encouraged. I feel like I can go out and do the things that I do, and people will support me. Even I had the good fortune of meeting a lot of the good guys when Joe Marie won many years ago, and I call them my friends now. And then that was just through that one experience of organizing things for Joe Marie. It's generations of wonderful people in this town. I also want to acknowledge my family. As you could probably see, I grew up, I can't take credit for the good things I do solely. Like, I grew up in a family where kindness was very important. My sister may have spoken about something I did when I was 9, but I can tell you that both of my parents, they were very involved in our community, and they were the first people who taught me that when you're given a gift from God, it is meant to be shared with people. It's not necessarily about making money, or and I would remind everybody else, find your gift and share it. Like, it's the most rewarding thing you could possibly do. It gives joy to others, and it gives joy to you. And I want to thank you guys for always being so supportive of me and for giving me such a good example in unconditional love. My in-laws, like, same thing. Like, I mean, I hit the jackpot. Like, I kind of laugh when people complain about their in-laws because I don't. I love them. They're wonderful. They encourage me, just like my own family, like as if they were my blood. They show up to all of these crazy things that I do. They're at the Festival of Trees. Like, they worked at the water stations at the road race. Like, you know, it's awesome. I know it's not lost on me that not everyone has this in their life, and I'm blessed, and I know it. My family, my immediate family, who puts up with Christmas trees in our house all year round, or posters all over the dining room for months, and me not cooking, that is real. Every year I have a New Year's resolution, I'm gonna cook more. But I get sidetracked, and what can I say? You know, I do it, and they support me, and I feel guilty sometimes, but they pick up the slack, and they understand that it's what makes me me. It's what energizes me, and they're a part of that. And to see my kids get involved in these things, oh, that is like the mom's dream. Like, be an example for your kids. That more like my parents did for me, and I hope I'm doing for my kids. Like, this is important for our future, for the kids. Kids need to see their parents doing these things. They spread it, as you know. And then if I could give a little piece of advice there, because I like to tell people what is important to me. I'm an open book. You know me well. I'll tell you how I feel. And that, to me, if I could take the podium to offer some message, that would be part of it, is just include your kids. Be a good example for your kids. Hug your kids a lot, right, Bill? I also want to say, obviously, I have, like, quite honestly, the most wonderful friends in the world. And I try to tell them all that as much as I possibly can. And I can be a little corny and a little emotional. But I don't care, because that, too, to me is very important. It's, you know, it's an amazing feeling to stand up here and get to hear all these wonderful things, but we have an opportunity to do that every day with the people we love, and take the opportunity, you know, tell your friends, your loved ones, how much they mean to you, because it's nice to hear it, you know. It sounds probably corny, but it's so absolutely true. It's something that's important to me. I hope and I think that my friends all know how much I love them, how much I appreciate them, how important they are to me. Not everybody has these kind of friends. Again, it's not lost on me. I know how lucky I am. I mean, I could go on and on about it, but it's all of the people in this room who made me who I am in your own little way, no matter how involved you are in my life on a day-to-day basis, or just a little. Like, you're out there, you're supporting me, you're volunteering, you're doing great things for our town, you're coaching our kids. I mean, the list goes on, and every single person in this room is doing wonderful things in their own way. I know one, Jo Marie, over the Festival of Trees, I tell her, so it was a great speech, and she doesn't even realize it was. But at the Festival of Trees, in her talk to our members, she mentioned how, you know, people compare themselves. Like, I don't expect people to do what I do. I'm enabled to do it because I have a husband who is working and enables me to work from home. I can put a lot of time in, but to do wonderful things, you don't have to put in the time that I put in. Like, little things are big, you know? Like, think of all those little things, and to me that's super important, and I think it resonated that night. As I tell Jo Marie, a lot of people have mentioned it to me. You're right, I can do. Sometimes I think people don't do things because they can only do something little. So I do it. But there's a lot of reason to do it. And I hope that you guys, tonight, if nothing else, kind of reinforces that, you know. And that's probably, I could keep going on and on. I think you should all go get the book, The Rhythm of Life. I did love the book, and yeah, it's a wonderful book. And just thank you all for being here. My mouth is getting dry. But it's overwhelming to see you all. I know you have busy lives, and the fact that you took time out of it to be here for me is something I will never in my life forget. So thank you, and I love you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, 2017 Wilmington Good Guy, Becky McGrath.